Hey there, welcome to the Cult of Cinema. My name is Aaron, and this is my movie library. Tonight we're doing another collection video and talking about some of the announcements that were made over the last day or so. We had Arrow announcements. We had a few announcements actually, and I'm sure the ones I forget to talk about, you guys are going to remind me of. Now, just so you know, the Umberto Lindsay Carol Baker set that I received earlier on this week from Severin. Uh, hey there, Amy. Hey, Chris. Hey, Danuch, welcome, man. I actually have been watching those every night ever since I got off work, and I'm trying to get through the features and that. I'll be doing a review of that Lindsay Baker set. Spoiler alert, everybody should own it. Just put that out there right now. Lamberto Bava, Blade in the Dark. Love that film, actually. Actually, I have that over there. So I got my drink tonight. Hey, there's some. I got my maple syrup to keep me going. Hey, Vince. Hey, all. Apparently, so I got a wide variety. I got movies, TVs, classic, a little bit of everything. I got classic, even though last time you guys were not too big in the classic, but I'm getting through everything. And I picked a few randoms because I wanted to really go with the random stuff tonight. And I got some big box sets that I think you guys are going to like. You can probably see one of them over there behind me, and we'll get to that. But first off, let's start with one that took me a while to find, actually. And I saw this movie and the other movie in the theater when they came out. So I actually remember this. I think I got the first one here somewhere too, but I can't remember where I got a putt. But ready to start? Or wait a minute. Before I do that, did you guys want to talk about like the announcements yet first? Did you want to do that? Because I know a lot of you guys are excited about the announcements. Did you want to get into that first? Or you want to go to the collection video portion first and do the announcement talk after the collection part? So that's totally up to you guys. But you got this is that fork in the road that I do in every video. Collection. Okay, we'll go with that. By the way, Dunch, I've been downloading stuff on my computer so that I can actually do videos. Same as you, I've been putting some new stuff on there. Anyway, so first off is Cocoon the Return. Do you remember this movie, guys? This one, I think, also, does have Steve Guttenberg too? It does have Steve Guttenberg, right? Because he was in the first one. Is he in the second one? Maybe he's not. I cannot remember, actually. Courtney Cox is in it, though. I remember that. I remember Hume Cronin. Maybe he's not. But this is Cocoon the Return. This was a sequel to like, it was a pretty, it was an okay film. So oh no, yeah, this is definitely the sequel. I just can't remember if, I don't think Steve Guttenberg's in the sequel, is he? It's, to be honest with you, I don't remember this movie very well, and I bought it mostly out of pure nostalgia. And I'm guessing this is something that's going to come on a Shout Select as a double feature one of these days, and I'm going to upgrade it to Blu-ray. But Cocoon the Return. All right, now this one's a bit cooler, and this is, I know I saw the abstract, that looks cool, man. Elvira's fun. Elvira's a fun one. Touch of Evil. I loved this film. Charlton Heston, Orson Welles, of course Janet Leigh. But what's really neat about this one is this has some pretty cool stuff. So it has the restored version here that was rated in 1998. It has the theatrical version from 1958. And it has a preview version, apparently, that's from 1976. And there's some more stuff on there too, but I can't remember what it was. But it was it was a 2-disc set. Hey, Richard. And like a lot of these, this came with like some neat stuff, including the notes from director Orson Welles. Heard that? It's definitely a match. But hey, welcome. Hey, welcome, Michael. Welcome, Kubrick. I'm started slow here tonight, but don't worry. We'll get into like a lot of different stuff. This is the DVD edition, and I need to get the 4K edition of this film because I do love this next movie that I'm about to show you guys, and that is Unforgiven. This was the original Digi, kind of like the pack they did. It's the 2 disc set, but there's a really good 4K that's out there now. If you have a 4K system, 4K TV, and a 4K player, I recommend the Unforgiven. Oh, Richard, did you watch the 4K of this one? It is an amazing film, and at a time when westerns were thought to kind of be lost. Hey there, this was really it was a nice, refreshing like look back at a classic western. Next up is a movie that I think Warner Archives put this one out. This is the original Warner edition of this one, and I really love this film, and I think it's highly underrated. Gene Hackman, Night Moves, and I won't say too much. It's a thriller. If you've never seen it, I definitely recommend it. Hackman is such a fantastic actor, and I think Susan Clark's in this one too, actually. But anyway, fantastic one, and oh, rest in peace, Alan Parker, who passed away today. So we're losing like really big cinema names left and right. Apparently, it seems. Oh, you have great taste. Hackman is amazing, and he's so underrated. Are there really 8 of them that have the logo problem? I'll check them later on tonight. Okay, this is another one of those kind of like thrillers, like sort of like the erotic thrillers. Jason Patrick in this one, and this is After Dark, My Sweet. Cause hey there, Mary, Rachel Ward's in this. I'm a huge Rachel Ward fan. You guys know I have the classic Night School, and Night School is an incredible film. If it's a slasher film that should be in everybody's collection. All right, I love the next film. I watched this when I was young, a lot actually, and on VHS. We had this one come to our theater, and this was like older, so it was like had to come to theater, like kind of like brought back. But Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry with Peter Fonda and Susan George. I actually love this film. It played at our. We had like the type of theater basically that used to show a lot of older films. And hold on, I got to see it over there. Something's bothering me. And this one here is one of those I used to see. It showed up a couple times at our local theater. I'm going random tonight because I want to talk about some stuff afterwards. So this is Leon the Professional, Luc Besson, and this was the special edition, was it the 2-disc edition that they put out at one point. Again, this is another one that I have to upgrade. I've been looking at 4K recently to see some stuff that I need to upgrade. I think I want to go for certain of the older stuff first. I did mention Gene Hackman, yeah, because Night Moves is an amazing Gene Hackman film that I recommend everybody check out. Okay, which one's, oh, Memento, Christopher Nolan. Odd packaging, but it makes sense for the film. But I can't remember when I got this one. I think my better half actually had this one before we got together. So this was like this is a better half original. It's always neat when I pick up something that I know was in her collection before she met me. It lets me know exactly kind of the stuff that she's into. And the fact that she doesn't watch any like stressful movies or anything like that anymore. Like, such a change. All right. I actually do like both of these films. It is Fletch Collection, Fletch and Fletch Lives. I think these could easily, well, there's a bunch of Fletch books for one. But I think these could easily be remade. And Ryan Reynolds as Fletch. Ryan Reynolds or the guy that started in Community. Hey, there's Steve. So one of those two, because you got to have that kind of cocky, self-assured, but at the same time, not really self-effacing attitude. Is that kind of a funny version of James Bond? Not really. Well, Fletch is a, what would you call him, a reporter, and he kind of finds himself. Joel McHale, thank you. Yeah, Joel McHale could do it, because Joel McHale, when he went into Community, if you ever you watch Community, his character, almost everything he's done, really is like somebody that's always quite a although he probably hates him nowadays, he owes quite a debt to Chevy Chase because he has that style to him, that Chevy Chase style. Am I getting the Back to the Future 4K? I don't know. I mean, I got the Blu-ray edition, and it had like the cartoon and everything on it. Eventually, maybe it won't be like something I'll run out and get because the Blu-ray edition that I got of Back to the Future is an excellent print, and it has the complete cartoon series as well. And I actually watched them like last year. So it's not something that I would have to get like right away, but I am actually glad that's coming out in 4K. All right. Finally got your Severin purchase. I haven't got my Severin like to be. It's still in processing. Arlie Emery is a preacher. Is he really? It's been a while since I've seen it. So this is Footloose and Flashdance, two movies that like were part of my childhood, and music and dance obviously when I was a teen was big for me. And I think Kubrick Lover is going to like the next film. And so here it is right here. So this is early George Lucas. And it is THX 1138. I want the Bugs Bunny set, actually. That's the one that I'm excited about. And this is a really interesting film if you haven't seen it. There's like a letter from Lucas on the inside there. This is the 2-disc edition because you get the original cut of the film and the George Lucas director's cut. I went to a convention in Montreal, and there was this guy made a couple different films, and one of the ones that he had done was he did like a Dracula film and he did a Sherlock Holmes film as well. So I got him to actually to sign it. I've seen the remake. The music isn't as good. Dancing is incredible in it. George Lucas is retired from Star Wars. Yeah, after the crap he went through with when he was making his prequels, never come back. I don't blame him. But it's like it's called Sherlock Holmes and the Shadow Watchers, and even as an old school like Sherlock Holmes like poster, kind of very Basil Rathbone-esque on the back of it, kind of give that old school feel to it. This is actually signed with the director and the actor of the film. The next one is really special to me, and I'll explain why. Actually, for many reasons. So this is Battlestar Galactica, the theatrical film that played over there in Europe, and I actually played theater here in North America as well. So I was a big Battlestar Galactica fan. So at a convention in St. John's that I went to, Richard Hatch was there, the late Richard Hatch. He's unfortunately passed on now, and of course, that's him right there. Anyway, so he, my youngest, my little boy, was at the convention there. Was very shy and didn't. And when I was going over to talk to Richard Hatch, he was kind of like hiding a bit behind my better half, and Hatch like stopped everything and took time out to go and like make my little one not so nervous and not so shy, and actually spoke with him for a bit, which I thought was really, really cool. And he signed it on the inside, which I thought was really neat and different. Hatch was an extremely nice guy, and I honestly don't think that like the whole new Battlestar Galactica would have even came about if his love of it. wasn't so strongly there. All right, now let's do one of these sets first, then we'll go into the other stuff. Let's get this one out of the way because you've seen it. So this is my complete series of a show that I actually really, really like, and I think was highly underrated, and that is Burn Notice. So I'm guessing most of you guys here have seen Burn Notice. Basically, it stars Jeffrey Donovan, and he's one of those actors that acts in a lot of things that are really good that get canceled really, really too soon. Or he'll come onto a show, and he'll play, somebody that'll kind of steal the scenes. If you have ever seen the series Pretender, he is Michael T. Weiss, the Pretender's brother, in the show Pretender. If you ever saw the North American remake of Touching Evil, he takes over the Robson Green role in Touching Evil, which unfortunately did not last long enough because it was actually a decent remake of the original series. And he's done many, many other things. And often they don't last very long, but he's one of those incredible actors that really adds a lot to whatever he's in. So he finally got a show that worked, and that was Burn Notice. So I'll open it up here so you guys can see. So Burn Notice went 6 seasons, and what's the movies here? Okay, so there is, go through them really quickly for you because I can have the time. So this is Burn Notice right here. That's Jeffrey Donovan. I mean, it's got a great cast. I mean, like, you're looking at Jeffrey Donovan's in this. Bruce Campbell is in this series as well. Just amazing. Sharon Glass is in this too. Gabrielle Anwar. Just such an incredible cast in Burn Notice. And if you're unfamiliar with what a Burn Notice is, basically a Burn Notice is when like an agent he's taken out of the field and everything is like his bank's frozen, his identities are taken away. He's taken out. He's burnt. He's out of the system. Just realized I didn't have it open up here to your guys' comments, so I could be missing out on stuff. I do apologize. But of course, instead I got an ad, because just screw those ads that I get whenever I open up my thing now. But I shouldn't say that. The ads help pay for my stuff, so yeah. Do I own The Wire? Actually, I do. I actually showed it in a recent video. So season 1, there's season 2. You see, I always got Gabrielle Anwar on the cover. Season 3. Season 4, there's Bruce Campbell on the cover right there. That's his mom, played by Sharon Glass from Cagney and Lacey fame. Damn those ads. I need those ads, man. Until I can float this channel on Patreon alone, and I just found out that the mic that I need for my podcast has gone up by $50. Yeah. I'll suffer through it. This was the last season there, of course. And this was there's 7 seasons. Bruce Campbell's actually really, really good in the show. Hey there, and ready. Long time, man. Are you excited about any of the announcements? I'll be honest with you, I wasn't. Aside from Last Starfighter, I'm not too excited about the announcements that are coming from Arrow for October. They seem like kind of odd October announcements. There's another one, like kind of a Japanese one that I like. But aside from that, yeah, nothing's really exciting me with a lot of those announcements. All right, so because I want to get some of this bigger stuff out of the way, and I want to put it over there before I keep going on. Also have the complete series of Bewitched. God, I can't remember right now. I'll check it out afterwards, though. Hey, Ragnar. But I love Bewitched. I grew up with this. I think doesn't matter how old you were. Bewitched usually was on syndication, and one that everybody could watch. Let me move this stuff over because I'm actually nervous things are going to go over here, and I'll be right back. Alrighty then. See, I told you I would not be long. See if I left. Okay. I should be witch. Why didn't I bring it over with me? Let's do some multi-film packs. Does the limited edition Scream Factory? Yes, I did. Oh, they look so good. I can't afford them right now, but I wanted them so bad. You know how much I like women in prison movies, man? And they're definitely gonna be sorted by the time I'm able to get them. You ready? So this is an action 4-pack. It's got Eraser, The Last Boy Scout, Point of No Return, and Passenger 57. I actually like all of these films. So it's actually a fun 4-pack. As always, not many features, if any, on a lot of that stuff. Next up is an Elvis Presley one. It has Jailhouse Rock. It's Happening at the World's Fair. That's the one I think where Kurt Russell's little boy and kicks him. Stay Away Joe and Charo. These are two not very good films. All right, next up is Captain's Courageous, Bad Day at Black Rock, Boys Town, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. However, I bought this, and when I got this home, because this was a stack one, I noticed that here's Boys Town. Here was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I've seen Tabitha, but I don't own it. And here is Captain's Courageous. To this day, I'm still missing Bad Day at Black Rock. Needless to say, I did not buy this new. All right. Some of the cooler murder mystery ones. We have The Postman Always Rings Twice. Hey there, Dave. The Big Sleep. Fantastic film. Dull and for Murder. This was originally in 3D, and it's actually out there in 3D. I should get the 3D edition because I do have a 3D TV. And of course, the classic Maltese Falcon. And of course, I got a better collector's edition of this. But at the time, I wanted to get the Postman Always Rings Twice, and the other ones were bonuses. All right, there's some Hitchcock ones, which I have most of. Hey, welcome, SJ. Private Eyes. Tim Conway and Don Knotts. I love Tim Conway and Don Knotts. So we got Suspicion here, Strangers on a Train. This is one of Hitchcock's best films. Wrong Man and I Confess. I got a lot of these in Blu-ray now, but I don't think I've got Strangers on a Train in Blu-ray yet. Is that out in Blu-ray? All right, and for this was four romantic comedies. Adam's Rib, Woman of the Year. This is a really good film. Philadelphia Story. What's my opinion on Ghost of Mr. Chicken? I actually like that film. I'm a big Don Knotts fan, actually. And Bringing Up Baby. You wouldn't tell it, but I'm actually a huge Don Knotts fan. I was even okay with him coming on as Mr. Furley and taking over the Roper's part in the series. So here we got some classic Marx Brothers. You know I'm not going to be getting that, don't you? The Blue Monkey is the one I'm probably not going to pick up, even though I really want it. Day at the Races, Room Service, Night in Casablanca, and At the Circus. I wish I was in Casablanca right now and not here in this Nova Scotia heat, and I'm downstairs to escape it, by the way. For war films, Baton, Back to Baton. I'm going to watch Shark Week. I can't, Chris, because I don't have cable. We cut the cord a while back. The Green Berets and Destination Tokyo. When I said we were keeping things like really, really thin right now, I was being serious. That's why I haven't got as much stuff, and a lot of stuff that I'm getting is stuff that's been coming for a while, and there that I've already had paid for a while back. We got Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Freaks, The Haunting, which is really great, and House of Wax. I have the 3D edition of this one. Back when times were so lean. So I'll show these two first, then I'll explain the other ones. I want to get Casablanca because I my sister-in-law lives in Casablanca, and it's just a train ride away from Marrakesh, and and it's a huge, bustling city. So I know the area well. I especially want to go to Casablanca Mall, which is utterly fantastic. Actually, I kind of mentioned the last Starfighter one. I'm too hot to know what Gilbert Glover, to be honest with you. Uh, but I kind of mentioned it. I'm going to mention it more at the end. But out of the announcements that Arrow's made, there weren't really good October announcements. The last Starfighter is a great announcement anytime. But there's a couple that interest me. But as for like October, they don't really seem like October. You know what I mean? They seem like decent announcements, but none of them seem like October announcements. Especially not like what we've seen from Arrow in the past, like stuff coming out like Deep Red and Hellraiser, uh, and Phantasm collections and stuff like that. And now it's like the last Starfighter. It really takes away from what the whole month of October really leans into, like Severin and Vinegar Syndrome and Scream Factory, all lean into this like heavy horror month, and they like really kind of put out a bunch of stuff like that. So Casino Royale, the original one, of course, Peter Sellers, Woody Allen, all those guys on it. Not my favorite film, I'll be honest with you. I actually originally bought this because it has the TV version of Casino Royale, the American version, where he's called Jimmy Bond. All right. Bob Hope, Elke Summer, and Phyllis Diller. What's my Dream October box release of the year? Well, there's two. I mean, like, obviously Friday 13th, because I'm one of the biggest Friday 13th fans in the world. But then there's also the Indicator Charlie Chan set, and I know I have to have that. So those are two that I got to get. Do I like the movie Casablanca? I love the movie Casablanca, actually. Boy, did I get a wrong number. Bob Hope, underrated. You wouldn't think Bob Hope would be underrated as a comedian, but I do. I do think he's underrated. All right, so in the UK and London, I guess not UK anymore. In London, they have a company called Network, and Network puts out these slimline cases. So if you had like a large collection of Network movies, they would take up, I don't know, a shelf, because they're super, super thin. You're going to see what I mean in a second. But they put like features and stuff on them, so they're not like featureless, and they're actually some pretty cool stuff. One I got here from a viewer that sent it to me. I was actually super excited to get it, and but a lot of these aren't even open. So when I got these, they were having a sale. They were £3 each. So this, and some Edgar Wallace ones here as well. So Edgar Wallace Presents The Flying Squad. So these are kind of these mystery ones. Not everyone is though. Got Edgar Wallace The Ringer. I actually got to watch these with my better half, because she's a real big fan of this type of stuff. I don't know why we haven't watched these yet. We got these when we were in London, as you can tell with the pound sign there. Edgar Wallace The Terror. And the next one's not Edgar Wallace, but actually it's a good film. It's called Midnight Menace. Still in the wrapping, that's what I said. Can Europe provide war when there are bombs over London? Nope. No, they couldn't. Okay, next up is what stars Gene Nelson, and it is Time Slip. By the way, I love these covers. Do I have Harper Valley PTA? I don't, but I know the song, and I have seen the film and the TV series. Oh, I love this cover. Who's in this one again? Oh, yeah, Lex Barker. I got some because it's Lex Barker. Okay, so that is Victim 5. I'm pretty sure this is either a... Is this actually London? Because this actually seems like would be an Italian one. But look at this cover. It's amazing. Followed up with the Scotland Yard Mystery. These are actually good quality too. So these aren't like alpha videos. These are actually good quality. And of course we had to get this one, Tony Randall, Our Man in Marrakesh. So it's kind of a spy spoof film with Tony Randall. And it's got, you know, Marrakech is where Kano's at. So obviously this was going to be, we had to pick that up. Herbert Lom, Wilfred White, great cast, man. Santa Berger is in this one. Klaus Kinski. Damn, yeah, Terry Thomas. I love Terry Thomas, by the way. Don't Bother to Knock with Richard Todd and Shirley MacLaine. Elkie Summer. Why do I think Shirley MacLaine? Probably the red hair. This one is a great one. I used to have the VHS of this one here. And it is Horrors of the Black Museum with Michael Gough. If you have not seen this movie, like, it's really, 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 really good. Basically, the Black Museum is like in London. It's supposed to be in Scotland Yard, and have like all these weapons of murder, right, that are there. And there's this really neat thing at the beginning of this film where a girl is sent a gift in the mail, and she's sent a pair of binoculars. And she gets up and she goes to adjust the binoculars. If this starts happening tonight, this is going to be a very short video. And one that was sent to me and that I actually really love, and has a lot of features on it too, and that is The Man Who Haunted Himself, Roger Moore. Great Roger Moore film. You like what you like, man. It's never bad to like what you like. This has 34-minute music suite from the original score, 2005 commentary with Roger Moore and Brian Forbes. Just some really cool stuff. But if it keeps going like this, we're not back for very long. Oh, what, this one? Oh, God, I've seen this one too, actually, recently. This was, I think, before he did The Persuaders. Hey, here, I'll read you the back. Harold Pelham, a partner in a large electronics firm, finds himself in a bewildering circumstance after recovering from a near-fatal car accident. What causes him to renounce his business principles? Why do friends and colleagues repeatedly cite him in places he's never been? And why does Julie, an attractive girl he's only seen once, claim to such an intimate relationship with him? Does Pelham really have a doppelganger? Or is he losing his mind? And so you can see it is a 2-disc set and great interior artwork as well. Great film. Now I got some classic comedy for you before we get into some other stuff. I think she's just looking at the window with the binoculars. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it's a really cool film. I definitely recommend Horror Black Museum if you haven't seen it. This is a Harold Lloyd comedy collection. What was the film Roger Moore liked the most? That is the one, actually. That was actually one of his favorite films, if not his favorite. So this is the Harold Lloyd Comedy Collection Volume 2. These are actually, I think, harder to come by now. Disc 1 has The Kid Brother, which is a full feature-length 82-minute film. Bumping into Broadway, which runs 26 minutes. The Freshman, of course, the classic, 76 minutes. And Billy Blazes Esquire, that is 30 minutes long. There is a commentary with Leonard Maltin on here on The Freshman, and commentary by Harold Lloyd's daughter, Susan Lloyd, and author. And there's an author, Annette D'Agnesto, and other people on The Kid Brother. On Disc 2, there's some more. There is Dr. Jack, Feet First, and extras going for comedy, production galleries, and then it has Grandma's Boy, which is a classic, Now or Never, and High and Dizzy. So there's a few kind of really cool ones on here. So this was a set that came out. There's a couple volumes of these. They were put out by, who did these? New Line, and I don't think they're available anymore. If they are, like, grab them up, because I know that Criterion put out some really good editions of some stuff as well. And definitely get that. But this is your gateway drug into Harold Lloyd. His best film is Safety Last. Hey There Dungeon. And like I will put bank on that. That's his best film. All right. So the Laurel and Hardy collection. So these are the ones that did. I think these are the ones that did at Fox, right? And these are some fun ones here. So we have Jitterbug, The Big Noise. I love these covers. Aren't these covers cool? And Great Guys. And did these have the... I'm trying to see. I don't know if they have booklets in them. Like the... So, special features, still photo gallery, auto commentaries in every one of these. Is there a booklet in every one of these? Yeah, there's a booklet in every one of them. So, there were only two, there were 2 volumes of on this set. That was Harold Lloyd you just missed. That was a Harold Lloyd comedy collection that was put out by a New Line. Then it was a good one. I mean, like there was like at least 3 to 4 like actual feature-length films. And the only other volume for the Laurel and Hardy one was this one right here. Now, this is a really cool Laurel and Hardy Blu-ray set that I got to get out there. And I'm pretty sure he had it on Sir at Midnight, because I'm pretty sure that's where I saw that. So there is Bullfighters. Oops. Well, sticking right to it. The Dancing Masters. And A Haunting We Will Go, if you like the haunting ones. And again, commentaries on absolutely every one of these, featurettes, and one of these here, I can't remember which one. Oh yeah, Laurel and Hardy, the Fox Years featurette is a really good kind of like overview of their time at Fox and how they got there. Speaking of the early Chaplin stuff, so before I was able to get like any of my, like I only got a couple like the Criterion Charlie Chaplins, but initially there was a company called MK2, and MK2 put out a bunch of Chaplin stuff. So I was at a store, and it was, I didn't know it at the time, but the store was closing down. He was having a hard time keeping rent there. Oh, this is a really good like Dungeon Studios. This is a really good like Laurel and Hardy like Blu-ray set to set there right now. I think it's Blu-ray. So this is the Chaplin collection. I don't have all of them, but I have a few. So this is Charlie Chaplin's. It's the Chaplin and the Circus. And all these have like great features on here. Just look the back. That's the features. So everything from like only digital transfers, introductions, documentaries on the films, you know, the premiere, 3D test footage, a 3D experiment with his and next up is The Great Dictator. And I'm really excited to have these editions of the films because although, you know, they're in Blu-ray and that, and I'll eventually get those, these are kind of special to me because the MK2 versions can be harder to find now. There's a great like 55-minute documentary on here called The Tramp and the Dictator, Charlie the Barber. There's like some short films on her as well. Scene from Monsieur Verdot, which I do have on Criterion. That's the same documentary. It's actually taken from here. It is. Like, I eventually got to upgrade it, but I'll never get rid of the MK2 ones. If I do, like, it'll be to my kids, so because I know that they'll like it. So this is the Gold Rush, of course, another classic one. And again, there is a great documentary on the Gold Rush here. There are 2 versions of the film here. The original the original 1925 silent version of the Gold Rush is here, and the all new digital remastered 1942 version of the Gold Rush is here as well, and with over 250 production stills. So next up was, oh, they cross over big time, man. I know, because what stopped me from getting them like right away was I wanted to get the ones that I didn't have first. So this is Limelight. And not as well known as like some of his other films, but I actually did like Limelight. That is an older Chaplin right there. And this is A Woman of Paris and A King in New York. So again, see some very different Charlie Chaplin. It's not rude because it's basically the same thing except that they're Blu-ray and I need to upgrade. Limelight's a different one. But I love this. Charlie, the Life and Art of Charlie Chaplin. So this is a documentary on Charlie Chaplin, and obviously has like a ton of people on talking, everybody from Richard Attenborough to Johnny Depp to, of course, Robert Downey Jr. And Scorsese. It is a really good documentary on Chaplin. Basically, the definitive look at the genius. It runs 133 minutes long, and I really enjoy it. And I'll probably watch this one again soon. All right. Only have one volume of this, so I really do need to get the Blu-ray set. It's on my buy list before I go to Morocco, actually, because one of my things that I plan, I have Modern Times, but I have it on the Criterion edition. So Cubic Lever will be proud of me. But I got Modern Times and Monsieur Vidal on the Criterion editions. The other ones I'm just kind of waiting on. All right, so I need to get more of these, but this is Best Abbott Costello Volume 4. On this one we get the Meet Dr. Abbott Costello, Meet Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Meet the Keystone Cops, Meet the Mummy, The World Abbott Costello, Meet Jerry Seinfeld, and Meet the Monsters. Oh, damn, I can bring this upstairs for sure. So Charlie Chaplin documentary and Abbott Costello going upstairs for me to watch. Okay, so this is another one where there's a whole bunch of these out. I've only got a couple of them. I do need to upgrade to get the complete collection, because the complete collection is out there, and I would like to give these to my kids so that I can actually get the complete collection. So this is the Three Stooges collection, Volume 2. For those that don't know, I'm a huge Three Stooges fan. And when I was studying acting, I used to watch a lot of these, a lot of Chaplin, and a lot of Buster Keaton, a lot of Three Stooges, a lot of Harold Lloyd. Basically because they had such a fluidity of movement, and I would study the way that they worked, because I found that it was very good when movement is very important when you're on stage. My better half actually is a huge fan of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. That's one that she wants to get the Criterion of. We have like like a DVD edition of it, but she wants that Criterion that one. She really wants it. Stooges are really good. You got to get into them. You got to just let them kind of sink over you and find the Stooges that you like best. I like the original, but like some of the other ones aren't too bad. Like I can like Shep. Shep's early too. So this is Volume 2. One of these has something very special on it, and I got to find out which one it is. This is Volume 3. And these are like digitally remastered as well, by the way. What's that? There's 24 on this one and 23 shorts on this one. Stooges, I got to say, I'll be honest with you, where I was going through a rough time, and when these sets came out, like a really rough time. This was like pre-internet, like pre-YouTube and stuff like that. So there were things going on in my life. And I remember finding these at Walmart, and I was pretty depressed at the time. And they were like, they got me out of the funk. Like, even if it was for a little bit at the time, I would be like, I'd get down and I'd just start watching this and I'd laugh and I'd forget things. And that's the way things were. Obviously, I'm here right now, so everything worked out okay. But thank you to the Stooges for that. I picked all three of these sets up at the same time. Joe Besser. I remember Joe Besser. Actually, I have seen the Charlie Chaplin show. I really liked it. Go Rush is a great film. This is Volume 7. This is actually really a special volume because, see, the Three Stooges did a 3D short. And the 3D glasses, there are two pairs, and the short in both 2D and 3D, there's two of them actually, Spooks and Pardon My Backfire, both of those shorts are in 3D, and both of them are on here, with the glasses as well. So it's a neat way to get like, and this was like not expensive to get either. I hope that the new set has the glasses in there as well. So you want to get the bonus disc in the complete collection? So, well, I got a lot more to get because I don't know about the sets, but I only have like 2, 3, and 5, and 7. So, but the bonus ones I definitely want. All right. What have I missed here? Oh, we just got a couple more guys actually. A show that I really loved. I'm not sure you guys, if any of you guys liked it, but this is a Shout Factory set. I was super excited because I found the set for under $20 at a video game store, and I was flabbergasted because I think, if I remember correctly, I think this was actually, you know, like a lot more expensive than $20. Like, and that is this one right here. This is the Larry Sanders Show, the complete series. So this is the Shout Factory edition of this. And it's a huge set. There are like all 6 seasons plus a bonus feature disc and a booklet are in here as well. And yeah, rest in peace. But I used to love this show, and it was just a fun. I would love to find. I'm not sure if they ever put it out, but Dream On was another series I used to love that I would like to see. The Gary Shandling Show. I remember that. It's the Gary Shandling Show. And there's some neat little like bonus features on more bonus features on the bonus feature disc right here, because there's like a ton of features all throughout the set. Like every like one of these, like for the instance, this is like a season 2 one. Oh, there's one that came out later, a dungeon. I think was put up by Mill Creek later on, but this was the original set was put up by Shout Factory. And there are like tons of stuff on here, like Gary lectures at USC, like visits for some people, interviews with Bob Odenkirk, deleted scenes. But I didn't know this even existed until I went to the store and I found it there. And I was like, so what's that? Because it was in like, there was a bunch of box sets, right? And they had like the school bus edition of, God, what's it called? ABC After School. Yeah, ABC After School like specials. Now, I was like, you know, how much of the ABC After School special was expensive? But it was expensive, you know, but it was still reasonably priced for the fact that it was really expensive. So I figured, okay, if the ABC one is kind of pricey, then the Larry Sanders complete series is going to be super pricey. But it actually was under $20, so I picked it up right away. Dream On was in print and it's out of print. That's my luck, man. Did I watch You Can't Do That on Television? I grew up You Can't Do That on Television. I used to love that show. Hey there, Eric. It had, of course, what's the Alanis Morissette, right? Was it Alanis Morissette? I think it was. The Three Stooges one. Yeah, the complete collection is the one you find at Walmart, isn't it? But the Ultimate Collection is the really, really good one. That, okay. Last but not least of these, because I'm not quite sure I'm going to make this video tonight. Here's this set. Oh, Alanis Morissette is definitely Canadian. If you ever heard her talk, you know she's Canadian. This set right here. And okay, before I show what this set is, let's see who first guesses what this set is. Come on, you guys know this set. One of the biggest TV shows of all time. Here. Kind of give it away. It's the X-Files set. And these were put on Blu-ray too. And the Blu-rays were very good, apparently. So I never upgraded. Now, how does this open up again? Does it have season 11? Was that the season? Was that the season that came out later on? I don't. The hate for it. Are there people out there that hate X-Files? Those people are wrong. That's just wrong. Now this is way before the series came back out again, so it has all the original 9 seasons and the films as well. And if I remember correctly, doesn't it also have? Hold on. I'm pretty sure this opens up. Nope. Somehow, I know that there's some way that this thing is supposed to open up, because this edition. Oh, it's a complete original series. Let's not get into series 11. I consider this the original X-Files series. Okay, I'm not quite sure how to get this open right now, but there's also a comic book in that in here too. Sorry, I'm not going to get a comic book tonight, but that had a comic book in it too. X-Files actually had a really good comic done by Topps, actually. Home episode was Home was like the weirdest episode, man. Home, and then that LA episode with with the vampires. Those are two of the strangest ones. To have the Three Stooges 2000. I actually haven't seen it yet, so I don't know a lot about that one. I've seen like pictures of it. So you got half the series. Season 11 doesn't with that. Hey, you don't get the hate for X-Files movie. I never got hate for the X-Files movie either. I mean, like I can see it, but I think people wanted it people had like really high expectations for X-Files, the film. Too high expectations that I don't think it could have lived up to. That's why I think anything that spun off from the X-Files was doomed for failure. Like whether it be the films, the series The Lone Gunman, which actually do have that, or another series done by Chris Carter, which did cross over later on into the X-Files, and that I think was woefully underrated, called Millennium. Hey there, Red. Millennium was a really good series. Starred Lance Henriksen, and they needed to have faith in it though, because every season of Millennium just goes completely different from the season before it. And I think a lot of that has to do with the kind of like when Glenn Morgan, who worked on X-Files, did Black Xmas after Willard didn't do well. He actually, that's the reason I brought out like those two shows. So thank you for catching the connection. The Larry Sanders Show and the X-Files Show were put together for that reason, because there's a whole like flirtation thing with David Duchovny in the Larry Sanders Show. But Millennium is one of those shows that, again, if they stood true to what they wanted to do, and they didn't kind of waver because the network and because of viewers and that type of thing, I think that it would have went longer than it did. I did run 3 seasons, which is respectable, but there's times when it's great, when when Sonic the Hedgehog looks better because There's fan outcry and stuff like that. And and there's times when I honestly, I'll be bluntly honest, as a creator myself, and as someone that watches like a lot of this stuff, it scares the hell out of me that it's going to come to a point where the audience is going to have too much control, and that's going to kind of like squelch the whole creative process. Because if studios get like, listen too much to like an audience, so like a writing campaign, stuff like that, to like, oh, change the show, make this happier, then yeah, that bothers me. But and I think with Millennium, that's one of those shows where they switched it up every year. Every year was different. It's like it's a dark conspiracy type show. He's after serial killers. There's a mystical element to the series. It's going towards the end of the universe type thing. Yeah, well, the end of the world, the millennium, the year 2000, that type of thing. So yeah, that's my thought. That's my rant on Millennium and my nervousness about about letter writing campaigns, stuff like that, to change something before the like people have even seen it. That really concerns. Have you guys ever been concerned about that? Like something I want to talk to you about. Yeah, focus groups. Yeah, they can be manipulated, and even like focus groups were horrible in the first. Like sometimes they do great, other times they've drastically changed, and sometimes like you've heard the horror stories of ruining a film. But there are times when like literally like a trailer has come out, or people just know like certain person's been cast, or somebody on the set like does an interview, and basically then there's like this huge campaign like, no, let's change Sonic, it's nightmare fuel, or like, don't go watch Captain Marvel, which I saw twice in the theater. So screw that. I mean, like what you like, man. That's my thing. Like what you like. There you go. This is, it's 2020. It's been a crazy year. Enjoy yourself. Oh yeah, he did. No, this was no the Sonic one. This was 110% one time that the audience was 100% right. I don't think the CW shows are actually. Supergirl is one of the better shows that they got on there. I will stand on that hill and say right now, Supergirl is one of the better shows that CW's done. And that one does have like, I guess, a representation, but as representation for like for a reason, because the characters that they use, that's the character, that's the way the character at the comics. That's the way they suit it. Got to hear what happened to the Batwoman show. She quit. She quit. She found it really hard to do. And I guess sometimes, you get into a show. What's my t-shirt say? Actually, this is the one from the Umberto Lenzi set that I got. And I love this t-shirt. I just watched it tonight, actually. Well, yeah, it was hard. So they've recasted the role with a gorgeous actress. I'm gonna say, like nothing wrong with Ruby Rod. She's a very good-looking, she's a very attractive woman. Like, but the girl that they got playing the new Batwoman, it's a new character, right? Damn. I'm just gonna say, if you never watched Batwoman, you're gonna want to check it out. You're gonna at least want to watch the first episode. Putting that out there right now. Not quite sure how they're gonna do it, because it's a new character. It doesn't really have anything to do. Did any of you guys watch the original, like the first season of Batwoman? I know it wasn't the most popular of the CW shows that came out that year, but it was trying to kind of do it was trying to be, it was kind of doing the Arrow thing, right? Oh, perfect, Red. So Batwoman was actually pretty good. Ruby Riott was actually really good in the role. She was perfectly cast for the role of Batwoman, and she did an amazing job in the show. It was uneven. Like the Alice was one of the big parts of it, as was later on. Spoiler alert. Hush. Yeah, Hush becomes kind of an important character near the end of the season, and sets up a whole season 2 storyline that I'm not quite sure how that's going to work now. But if you know the Batman character and the Batman mythos, then you will probably know Hush is. And hey there, Damon. Welcome, man. Oh no, you're gonna watch it anyway, dude. You should watch it. I don't know. I mean, like I hadn't heard anything bad about the Blu-ray myself. I have two box sets. Well, two, the cases, in the in the plastic van cases of Scooby Doo. Where are you? Uh, and I really enjoy those. But I am thinking upgrade to the Blu-ray, so I am going to look into that myself. What did I think of Crisis? I thought it was really good, actually. I thought Crisis was really well done. Surprised it didn't go with the Catwoman series. I mean, Catwoman is gonna one. She's leans to more. She's can be good or bad, uh, but when you have Catwoman, yeah, Scooby Doo Where Are You is the first one. When you got Catwoman in a series, then it's going to really like put in too much. Like, okay, where's Batman? Where's Batman? Where's Batman? Like that's taken care of right at the beginning of Batwoman. You don't need another Bat character. You know what I mean? And if another Bat character eventually comes into it, okay, but kind of Batwoman's the focus. I have the Monster series here actually too. It's a really good one. I got the collection for that. But I think that Batwoman was the right decision to make because Batwoman was, I guess, was more. She's more badass. Like, like Catwoman's a fantastic character. Like she hasn't got aside from Batman Returns, hasn't had a really good time with films. But Batwoman is like this super badass character that's like a fighter, and they needed somebody that was dark, that could take over that spot because Arrow was gone, and Arrow was kind of the darker show. Titans, Doom Patrol, I watched them both. I loved both of those shows. Titans was way better than I thought it was going to be. And what really hooked me on Titans, I really liked the Hawk and Dove episode. That was amazing in the first season. So Titans is great. Doom Patrol is incredible. I haven't watched Umbrella Academy yet, but my better half has. I do have the Leprechaun 8 film collection. I like that set. Although I do not like Leprechaun Origins. Screw that movie. But if you haven't seen Titans, guys, like Titans is another show where like the fans got super upset right away. So if you've never seen Titans, Titans is a very kind of a darker type series. Uh, and basically, there's a sequence that was in the trailer of Titans where Dick Grayson's character is, I think, I'm not sure if he's dressed as Nightwing or not. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, he's dressed as Nightwing. No, he's dressed as Robin because he's not Nightwing in the first season. And he's like, and he's beating up these guys. And it's like, what about, where's Batman? And he's like, fuck Batman. And people are like, oh my God, he said fuck Batman. Hell, you can't do that. You can't. Dick Grayson can't say that about Batman. But he did. And there's a reason for it. And we eventually do get to see Batman in the series, which was actually really cool. And I thought they casted Batman extremely well. He was actually an actor from Game of Thrones. That happens so many times. I remember Surface as well. There's a few shows like that when you're just like, you're watching them and you're getting excited. And all of a sudden it just freaking ends. So late after a while, what I had to do was when there was like a drama show or a continuing show, I'd be like, for a short period of time, I was like, okay, I'm not going to watch this until the first season's over. Then I'll watch the first season and, because I know it's gone for a full season. It hasn't got dropped after 7 or 8 episodes, right? So I thought, okay, that's the way I'm going to do it because if the show lasts, then I can watch it. But then I thought about it. Okay, if I'm not watching the show and other people are like me thinking, I'm going to wait till the end of the season to watch this show to see if it's going to last. Then I thought, holy crap, I'm sabotaging a show that I might initially want to watch because I'm not watching it, and other people are out there thinking the same thing. Well, it's not a comedy; it's a dramatic show, and it's a continuing serialized show. So maybe I should wait till the end of the season before I actually pick it up or start watching it. If everybody did that, we never would have got the first season of 24 to go all the way through. And we got many seasons of 24, some good and some bad. I'm super mad they never continued Bionic Woman. I loved that show. The girl from Bionic Woman she was on EastEnders originally. I think she played Zoe Slater on EastEnders. Yes, I know that. And she was in an episode of Doctor Who as well. Like when David Tennant did a year we did like 4 specials. She was the one that kind of like took this like this bus, this kind of like space bus type thing. But she also played the Bionic Woman, and it was getting really good. Kind of like Dark Angel, where Dark Angel just ended after 2 seasons, and it was just kind of cliffhangery. But unfortunately, Bionic Woman I think only lasted, was it 8 or 12 episodes, something around there. It didn't last a long time. And the neatest part for me was there was a second Bionic Woman, that one that was kind of like psychotic, kind of a failure, and she was a bad one, and it really, really, really worked. Well, come on, guys! I've only been here like. Is there a DVD set that I want, but the high price point prevents it? Everything right now. Spider-Man 69 when I got, it was Katie Sackhoff actually, doing a much better job in that than she did in The Flash. Just putting it out there. I'm trying to think a series that I want that is being prohibited by the price. Well, for out of print purposes, I'm going to say SCTV, but for something that's actually in print, Gunsmoke. I looked at and envied Heath's Serial at Midnight's overview of Gunsmoke, and it was a beautiful, beautiful set. We haven't done the Spider-Man set. Well, I'm going to guess for the same reason that the 69 set, the 67 set went out of print so fast, with the rights issues between Marvel and Disney and Fox. No, sorry, Marvel and kind of like Sony, right? Marvel and Sony. So I'd say like rights issues is keeping like a lot of Spider-Man shows from coming out right now. SCTV was on Shout, and it still is, I think, but only in the Shout website, and it's like $50 a set or more American, and then you put on the shipping as well, so it gets a bit pricey for me. Michelle Ryan, that's her name. Thank you. I actually have a Carol Burnett set here. I used to watch a Carol Burnett show when I was growing up. Then the 70s Spider-Man. I wish I had the 70s Spider-Man live action. The Spider-Man show that I most want in my collection, and I will be honest, it is the Japanese Spider-Man show. I love that. And if you've never seen it, definitely check it out. It's more of a Takatsu. And about Spider-Man stuff for your son. So I'm just a big kid, Amy. I'll be honest there. I'm a big kid when it comes to that type of stuff. Because the Japanese Spider-Man was so cool. There's 4 sets of SCTV, I think, and a special, like I'm not sure, it's like a Christmas special episode or something like that. Hey, Triple Feature, welcome, man. I got like one of them. The set. Unfortunately, the only sets that in the early seasons. So they put out at least 3 or 4, which is the Network 90 season. So for those who don't know, if I say SCTV and you're like, what the hell is SCTV? So SCTV stands for Second City Television. Basically, it was a Canadian show, and it was very much kind of like Saturday Night Live, but just way better. And it kind of like it showed a lot of really cool things. A lot of actors like John Candy and Joe Flaherty and Eugene Levy and like Andrew Martin. All those guys got their start on that. Um, and of course, so did the Ed Grimley character that would go on to Saturday Night Live as well. But anyway, so it ran on pretty much here in North America, and had like a shorter, like 30, 60 minutes, something like that. And I think it ran on Edmonton stations. So like initially it was on Edmonton stations. So Saturday Night Live wasn't doing very well in the early 80s. So they needed something to kind of like take this, take the edge off. So what NBC did was the SCTV found out like it was being kind of popular, so they brought the guys from SCTV over, and they were going to have them like do like SCTV kind of like once a month in place of Saturday Night Live. So eventually they would, would come on like later, would come on like afterwards and stuff like that. But they would like once a month they take the place of it. Initially, and a lot of people didn't realize this, was they had actually spoke with certain members of the cast of SCTV, and I think this was their real agenda, but it didn't go through. Was that the cast of SCTV was going to take over and be the cast of Saturday Night Live. So that's actually mentioned on the set that I got, that they had actually been some people had been approached to talk to other members of the cast, so that SCTV would I don't have Friday, but I remember the show. But it was a great series anyway. It had like if you know of the characters Bob and Doug McKenzie, or if you've ever seen the film, they were that comes from SCTV. That's where that comes from. Or if you've ever seen Count Floyd, that also comes from SCTV. And if you're a fan of the TV series, which has really kind of gained a cult underground following called Schitt's Creek, then that is actually stars two of the actors from SCTV. Praise Shock. I love Shock Treatment, man. That's one of my favorite movies. Saying was the Japanese Spider-Man in the Japanese language? It is, but you can get it with subtitles. Sorry about that. I just didn't see it. I was trying to get that at first. It's really, and it's not like Peter Parker Spider-Man. It's a different one. Basically, the Spider-Man and Japanese Spider-Man. If you've never seen it, like he's the kind of, what's it he does? He's a dirt biker. Like he's got another name. I don't think it's called Peter Parker. So he rides dirt bike or something like that, and like his dad or something like that dies in the first episode, and he finds this ship comes down, and he basically gets this spider suit, and not just a spider suit, but he gets this vehicle as well, and he gets one of those big like like in Super Sentai and Power Rangers, when they get the big creature, the big like mechs, the big robots. So that's in it too. It's actually really cool, and it's very dark. You're 45 and collect goosebumps, right on. I actually sent like a meme to my kids today, and it was like literally, it was like a cover of Goosebumps, and it shows two goose and like two fists are put there like bumping. Futile and stupid gesture. Why does that sound familiar? I think I have actually. Was that the one about the guy that helped create like National Lampoon? Like it was super self-destructive. Like he worked on the movie, like he worked on the first films and stuff as well, and that was on Netflix, right? If it's the one I'm thinking of, I remember it being on Netflix. Lord Michaels. Doug Kenny, thank you, yes. Well, no, the Mexican, those characters came in later on, like the Zords, I guess you want to call them. Do I watch any Netflix shows? I actually do. Not so much anymore. Back in the day, oh, cringe alert! I watched House of Cards, and I I watched, of course, watched Stranger Things, Orange is the New Black. Like those are ones that like kind of really stand out. But there were a few. There's definitely a few like Netflix shows that I watched. Of course, what's it called? Bad Mouth? What's something like that? Big Mouth? Whatever. It was the one with the kids, the animated one. Really really good. Black Mirror. Not initially a Netflix show, but Netflix bought it out. But yeah, I did watch. I love Black Mirror. Incredible series, and I think I've loved pretty much almost every episode. The hardest one is like uh, there's an episode, and it's got Jodie Whittaker would go on and be Doctor in Doctor Who. So basically, it's an episode, and the guy in it was the guy that played Doctor Doom, the new Doctor Doom, the new Fantastic Four movie. I can't remember his name right now. It's like escaping me. But basically, society's come to a point where people have these things like inserted into their into their heads, and they can like rewind like their whole like any time of their life. So basically, if you're going for a job interview, which the guy's doing at the beginning of the film, beginning of the episode, yeah, the bad one. Well, Toby Kebbell, I think. Um, and he keeps like something like hits off when he gets home, and he sees his wife talking to the sky, and he really finds it kind of like he finds it odd, and he keeps rewinding certain things. Yeah, it's because he's extremely paranoid that his wife is cheating on him, and it has an interesting conclusion, and it broke my heart. It destroyed me. That episode just utterly destroyed me. The robot dogs, yeah, I can see that. But there's a couple that like really did it for me. Weeds, she was hot, man. He's saying that like yeah, because I'd watched her, of course, in West Wing, right? She was in West Wing as well. The girl from Weeds. I there's a few shows I'm yeah, obviously, I'm a big TV person as well. Um, so like I don't just watch films. I watch like a lot of TV shows. I've recently started rewatching Stalker, which the first Slasher, the first season. I hate their pinga. I would love to get Stalker though. There's a show that should have lasted longer. There's a show that got canceled too fast. So there was this series called Stalker. Any of you guys see it? And basically it was about this team, and that was their job was like to like take care, like to pretty much like do stalking cases. And God, I can't remember the main actor, but one of the characters, in a way, was stalking an ex, and another girl was getting stalked by it. I've seen all the seasons. Hey, there's Dawes. Welcome, long time, man. And yeah, I've seen Bandersnatch is the one. Isn't Bandersnatch the one that's like Choose Your Own Adventure? Because that was kind of cool, man. I want to see more of that type of stuff. Because I love that Choose Your Own Adventure style stuff. I grew up with those Steve Jackson books, man. And, I was a big like Dungeons and Dragons guy. I was a huge geek. So yeah, I love the interactive stuff. I remember those full motion video games that were like Night Trap and stuff like that. They were like atrocious. But I couldn't stop playing them. Love, Death and Robots. Is that the one? I think I don't know if I've seen it all yet, but if that's the one I'm thinking of, it's like really short animated. It's like animated shorts, like a set, usually set in the future. What I've seen, what I've liked. I was actually traveling when I watched it. You could choose your own adventure from Breakable Kimmy Schmidt. I thought that show was canceled. There's always syrup calling my this now. I have tea afterwards. Because I find I used to have tea here, and when I did, it would go really cold. So I have like this keeps me hyped up. So when I'm making a longer video, sometimes I can have videos that like as you've seen, go 2 to 3 hours long. Do I like the Godzilla movies? I have the Criterion Godzilla collection. I love the Godzilla films. I like the new ones too. So just in case that's what you're asking. Welcome, Wolf. Love, Death and Robots is a really cool dungeon. You should definitely check it out. That man in the suit, unfortunately, Kubrick has passed away. He played the role for like for quite a while, and did like a lot of films. Never diss the man in the suit because it's definitely like a lost. I will have a man in a suit any day over like bad CGI, and there's enough bad CGI out there. Like the 1990. Oh, do I like the Matthew Broderick one? Yeah, I'll buy the 4K down the road, just because I'm a completionist. But it wasn't very good. I'm not going to lie. Like the special effects were pretty bad. Uh, like when you're watching the Matthew Broderick one, and you got those creatures, like when Godzilla kind of like hatches those creatures type thing, and they're going through the city. It's real, and literally look like they're superimposed over it's really badly done. PCR is the best. I like the show era too. I mean, like I like the I'm a big fan of the show era anyway. I think like it can be a lot cheesier. I like the show era of Ultraman and Kamen Rider. Um, the PC era is it gets darker definitely. Um, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, AME. So you can let me know if I am or not. The first time I realized the Broderick as the first time I realized movies could suck. I think for me, I'm gonna some people are gonna hate this. Uh, it was like and Peter Jackson's King Kong. Um, I'm like this is a fantastic director. There is some really cool cinematography. There's some really badly cast people in this film, and I am not enjoying myself. Uh, like I'm not gonna go like I always go with. I always rag on the Rob Zombie Halloween stuff, but no, I'm gonna go out there and gonna say something different for a change. Yeah, Peter Jackson's King Kong. I know, but I can't, I just man, I honest with you. Maybe I gotta watch it again, but I can honestly tell you that like Jack Black exactly. Uh, People walked out. I've never seen anybody walk out of a movie like that before. But I watched people walk out of the film. Now my mom went to see Dudley Do Right, and she saw, and most of everybody walked out, walked out of that film. It's extremely sad to live that. But 104, man, that is amazing. So that is something to be like to sad to see that she's gone, but to last to 104, way to go. See, but no movie walked out of Spawn. I felt like it at a time, but no, I like Melinda Clark, so I stayed. Don't gotta watch it again. I like to give everything at least two or three chances. Like that's just me. But I've given like the Rob Zombie films a lot of chances, and I'm gonna give them one more this year. Oh, James Marsters, who played, I think he played Piccolo. He he stood up so much for that film too. Like he was really proud of it. And I got to speak. He's such a sweet guy. Like one of the sweetest guys I've ever met. I need the Bugs Bunny's head. It looks really good. Eddie Shack, yeah, Toronto Maple Leafs. See, my better half's like that. She starts the film, she has to finish it, and that's okay for her. But if we're watching a film together and it's not a good film, that means we're both finishing it. So let me give you an example of that. By the way, there's this atrocious film that that I'm going to tell you guys not to watch. It's called Vampires Suck, and it's supposed to be making fun of the Twilight franchise. I say supposed to. because it doesn't do a good job of it. It is painful. It is super painful. But me and my better half started watching it. And she's like, this sucks. This is a horrible experience. But I've started. We got to finish it. So I was not going to leave her on her own to watch it because that's just a dick move. So I just said, okay, in for a penny, in for a pound, we're watching vampires suck. And I would tell you right now, I will go back and I will watch every single one of those Twilight films twice before I go back and watch Vampire Sucks again. I don't know if I've ever seen that movie. Also, what's it called, movie 47 or something like that? That was atrocious. And there was a lot of big actors in that film. I don't know what he had on the actors in movie 42, movie 47, whatever the hell it was called. But that it was literally, you're watching something that you said, do you know what? Movie 43, thank you. Yeah, you saw it in theater. Oh my God. I feel bad for everybody that's acting in the film. I feel bad for everybody that has to watch the film. I'm guessing movie 43 happened for tax reasons. And I'm guessing that the people that agreed to be in movie 43 agreed without seeing a script. Have you seen Hellbreeder? It sounds familiar, Penga. I mean, it sounds really familiar, but I can't remember it right now. That's the truth. I'd have to look at a cover or something like that just to see what it looks like. Is that a really bad one too? See, I'm the opposite. I've watched Chicago like 7 or 8 times. But again, actor, was going to be an actor. Worst film you ever seen? Oh man, I got to check it out. Oh, I don't know if I better get through it, but I'll check it out. And I loved Chicago. And I know all the songs from Chicago and most of the routines as well. Now, The Church is a great film. You know me good bad. Jurassic Park. I need the 4Ks for Jurassic Park. I heard they're pretty good. You find Jamin in any film, good or bad. I would love to say I find Jamin in every film. I find enjoyment in watching films, and I find enjoyment in studying films because I'm weird. But I can't honestly say I found enjoyment in every film that I've ever seen. But really, really bad ones, like in the kind of this is bad but I love it type way, like Things, for instance. It's an atrocious film, but I can turn that on any day and just watch it. I will have a blast. Samurai Cop, watch that anytime. Fantastic. Miami's Connection, perfect. I'm there. But The Room, not all the time, but sometimes. Small Soldiers needs a good release, man. I love Small Soldiers. Well, a lot before I watch them. Yeah, I do that most of the time. Like I showed a bunch of DVDs there earlier that I got from London that I have still wrapped up. But most everything that I get, I like to unwrap almost immediately. And I'll tell you why. I was in London and I bought like a whole bunch of films, right? Now I left them wrapped because I was going to come home and to Newfoundland, that's where I was living at the time. And I did this big unboxing of like every single movie that I got from London. And first thing I unboxed is the HMV. I get there, I get to the HMV exclusive of Toxic Avenger. And I take off the slip cover, like I open it up, it's got the poster, everything in there. I love that exclusive. And then because Toxic 2, I said, okay, here's Toxic Avenger 2. I open it up. I'm reading the back of the box, and it has the same features as the original Toxic Avenger. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense because it was wrapped, and the wrapping was around the slipcover. And then I look at it closer, and I realize that it was factory error, and that Toxic Avenger, this that I already had, like I had it twice because instead of being Toxic Avenger 2 inside the slipcover, it was the original Toxic Avenger. And I was pretty peeved because obviously I couldn't bring it back to the store, or I couldn't go. It was in London. Jaws. I love Jaws. I need the 4K Jaws too. What's one film that I own that you've had wrapped so long that you've never opened? If I have a film that's wrapped, like I guess those thin ones from Network. Usually, the only reason that I'll leave a film wrapped is because I've seen it, or we got an extra copy of it, and that does happen. Like we'll have like one or two different copies. Obviously, right now I got wrapped is The Shining over there. See that edition of The Shining with the Funko Pop, like Jack Nicholson, Jack Torrance character. Like the keychain. So I already have that on Blu-ray, so I don't need to open that edition of it. That's like got purely for collectors. I like for because I love the movie The Shining, and I will definitely buy the 4K. I also have because they were selling them for really cheap at the time. I got like at least two or three actually at one point. And I gave away most of them. I think I've only got one left. The copies of Spider-Man 3, the Steelbook edition of it that came out for was a Future Shop exclusive. Twin Peaks A to Z. I love Twin Peaks. I actually spoke about that today with a friend of mine. No, I see some movies I do, Amy. I mean, like, but I used to. But right now, at this point, it's come to a point where I'm like, I feel like certain physical media stuff may not come back. So I'm like, I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna keep this. And if I read it, like I have kids, right? I got two like grown kids. So if it's something that I think that they're gonna enjoy more than me, then it's something that goes towards them. Like every once in a while, like I don't have a lot now. Like I used to do trading, right? I used to trade with some people, but I've gotten down to the point where I've streamlined. This is streamlined, Amy. Uh, so I've streamlined my collection so that I've pretty much got just what I want, and from here on out, I kind of buy what I really need. And I know it's a little, it seems a little extravagant, but yeah, that's kind of how I go with it. But I do understand people would like not want to keep a movie that's, especially like space wise. It's going to be very different for me when I go to Morocco because I'm going to Morocco. I've got a condo there. Uh, so basically, I'm going to have less space in that area in that condo. So it's going to be very very important for me to get the films that I want, and to make sure that they're the ones that like take center stage. Obviously, I can take some, bring them to the farm as well, but you always unwrap. It's like Christmas. Yeah, it is like Christmas, Dave. I totally agree with you. Crappy movies can be fun to watch, especially with the right people. My cousin, me and my cousin grew up like my cousin Roger. We grew up kind of like we're like brothers growing up, and we would watch. I would make him suffer through the worst films. So there was a film out there, and I'm not sure how many people are going to know this film, but back in the VHS days, there was a movie called A Man Called Rainbow. So what it was some people had taken Sylvester Stallone's movie Rebel that he'd made early in his career, and they had redubbed it and put in some extra scenes and made it a completely different film. And it was just a really silly, weird little film called A Man Called Rainbow. And we sat through that so many times, just like kind of, yeah, I guess kind of like Kung Fossil. Except Rainbow's Man Called Rainbow, for some reason, maybe because Stallone is no longer around. That's in the chair. I wasn't that mean. Trail of the Pink Panther. Yeah, my better half. Like she sat through so many. She sat through things twice, guys. This is what a trooper my better half is. She sat through things twice, and that's getting burpy. All this maple syrup cola, man. And then she sat through Nail Gun Massacre 3 times. It's genius. I think the guy that made things thinks it's genius. I still got to see Wicked World. It can't be any worse. Those are famous last words, right? Son of the Mask. Yeah. Not gonna lie. Hard watch. Love Jamie Kennedy, by the way. I'm a big fan of Jamie Kennedy in the Scream films. Oh, by the way, Courtney Cox is coming back for the new Scream film. But yeah, Son of the Mask is painful. Like literally painful to watch for me. And not in a fun way. Like, oh yeah, there's a new Scream film coming out. And I don't think it's not a reboot. So I'm going to guess it's kind of a continuation. I will hold you hostage to watch Logan's Run. I will make you like Logan's Run. I can see it. I mean, I think Craven would approve. Because he wanted to do other Scream films. You make me like Barry. Actually, I think you will. Because I don't think I've given that film enough of a chance. I will eventually. Do you ever watch the Power Rangers movies? The Mighty Morphin one, love it. Turbo sucks. Because you know why? You know why Turbo sucks? For the same reason the TV series, Turbo like almost turned me off the Power Rangers altogether. Do you know why? Yes, the kid, Justin, the Blue Ranger. Yeah, I didn't get into him, man. He does not do well. Did you ever watch the Logan's Run TV series with Gregory Harrison? You know, the guy from Trapper John MD, which is a show nobody's going to remember with me, but hey, I thought I'd just throw that out there. But yeah, there was a TV series, a short-lived TV series of Logan's Run. Pretty much done in the same as the Planet of the Apes TV series, kind of like the On the Run type thing. Man from Atlantis was really fun when I was a kid. They did like a few movies first. I think Victor Buono is the villain in the first Man from Atlantis film. And of course, Patrick Duffy would be in that, and he'd go on to, do Dallas, where he'd become really famous. But Man from Atlantis was like actually a big hit for a while. See, I don't like hospital shows, but I love Trapper John. Just because they had that sense that they had to them. That and Christopher Norris, she was gorgeous, man. I was in love with Christopher Norris as a kid. She went on to be in Santa Barbara too, actually. But she played the nurse. I remember like an early episode. Hey, IB, welcome, man. Where basically, well, he comes in, Gonzo, because Gonzo's like the star of the show. He's played by Gregory Harrison, and he just starts working. Like there's a whole big like they're really understaffed, and there's like a whole, I think like there's an accident or something like that that's gone on, and he comes in and he starts like saving people. He's not a member of the staff, and in a future episode, a nurse comes into it, and she's only in it for one episode. Actually, was a pretty famous actress too. I think it was Shelley Long, and she's that's what he sees her, and he gets her like helping out too. Wayne Rogers. Well, Wayne Rogers wasn't in Trapper John MD actually. Wayne Rogers is, of course, the guy that played Trapper John in the TV series MASH, the original TV series MASH, and but he had a kind of a bit of a falling out on in the series MASH, and he left, and he really left like the whole MASH and Trapper John. So when they did Trapper John, they did it as Trapper John's now older, and the younger guy is a guy by the name Gonzo. It's played by Gregory Harrison. And if you're a fan of like Bonanza, for instance, then you're going to know who played Trapper John because he is the guy from Bonanza. I used to watch when I was a kid. It used to come on in the afternoons. And when I was at work back before we stopped, like no, actually, but he does better. Well, not better. It's different because basically he's older, so he's become the authority figure that he used to rebel against. So he meets this other guy, Gonzo, who's like younger and was like what he was like, and he and it helps like kind of get him back on track to where he should be. One of the best episodes, by the way. And I think it was a two-parter. Pernell Roberts. It is Pernell Roberts. Thank you, Dave, because I've forgotten his name. So thank you so much. Was this girl that comes in, this older lady, and she had to have an operation done. And she was like a nurse, member of the staff. And what Gonzo finds out eventually, because somebody's going around putting up like hate speech and stuff like that, like these really kind of like these KKK type of rants and stuff. And of course, needless to say, he's super upset about it. But he finds out that this new doctor, that's like a good friend of Pernell Roberts, is the head of this like big white supremacy group that are meeting in secret, and that he's been the one putting up the stuff. And when they confront him on it, you still have House Calls, by the way, Vince. I love that show. That's actually based on a film too. But he actually kind of like takes him hostage and pretty much says, if you don't say anything about my white supremacy stuff, I'll do the operation. And they basically, at the end of the day, they say fuck you, and they do the operation on their own, and she comes out okay. Really tense episode though. There's a part in the episode where Gonzo is in like his van, because that's what he lives in. He's got this van that he lives in, and there's the whole group, like the bad guys, are around him, and they're kind of surrounding him, and it looks bad for Gonzo for a minute. Thank you for reminding me about House Calls, because I really used to like that show. I can't remember if it was in the film right now, but I know it's like was it like a, God, because I saw the film too, but there was a film that House Calls was based on. I'm pretty sure, but I don't think I'm dreaming. I haven't checked with the hunt yet, not yet, but I really need to. Apparently, there's something called The Host that just came on Shudder, and it's like I don't know. We don't have Shudder anymore. Damn it. But it's like kind of a found footage type of thing, kind of like on the screen. So I really want to see that. Damn. I guess I'm not going to. But my better half is watching a lot of like Boomerang tonight, so. I'm slowly getting through my Lindsay Baker box set, and bloody brilliant. Oh, Boomerang is a cartoon TV station, which only shows like old cartoons, mostly. Well, it shows a couple of newer stuff, like newer Looney Tunes stuff and stuff like that, but mostly like a lot of old Scooby-Doo and Jetsons and Flintstones, and she's really, like I told you before, she's a really big fan of animation. So one of the things we did, like luxuries that we do have, is because we have a VPN, is we have Boomerang on, and it we had it like had a fairly decent month, and so basically what we did, we paid for the year, and she watches it all the time. And anytime she's kind of in a funk too, it's really good. Have I seen Ready or Not? Actually, yes, thank you. Uh, Ready or Not was this Canadian show for guys that don't know, and it had these two girls. Busy was one of them, and another girl. And if you watch the show Andromeda, then the girl from Ready or Not was actually on Andromeda. She really grew up, man. So Sweet, So Perverse. Actually, I think that's one I watched tonight. Is that the one about the, without giving too much away, where starts off with her as a race car driver? And have you watched it yet? I'm not going to give anything away, but I will tell you that the song from Paranoia. Well, Paranoia. So which one is sweet? So sweet, so perverse. So because the only one I got left to watch is Knife of Ice. Oh yeah, because Paranoia is also called something else on the box set. It's the second one. Okay, so that's a So Sweet, So Perverse is really that's the one in the comic book. Right? That's one in the comic book. Quiet Place to Kill. Thank you, Italian. So I watched the first three. Uh, did you? Do I belong to a library? You work for a library? Actually, I got like a library card, but I haven't been there in a long time. Obviously, COVID and all. Oops, I'm not supposed to say that. But everything's going on and all. Stage Fright's a great movie, Amy. But the second one's really, really good. There's some great twists in So Sweet, So Perverse. All those films. And I was just talking to my better half before I came downstairs to make this video, and I was saying that the Lindsay Baker box set, I've only got one movie left to watch. And I can say from, right now, and I can feel like pretty confident saying this. One, it's not just a really good Jello box set. It is a really, really good box set. And even after the twists, you find out whatever twists come into those films are highly rewatchable. They are incredibly well done. The scores on these are incredible. So definitely grab the set. If you don't have the set, guys, if there's anybody here that has not picked up the Umberto Lenzi Carol Baker set, you're missing out. It is an incredible set. I'm going to do a complete review on it down the road. And one thing I would tell you right now is that get it with the soundtrack. If you can get it with this shirt, get it with this shirt. Look, isn't this an awesome shirt? You know it's an awesome shirt. And this shirt makes sense too. And anyway, what I was saying before, Italian, was that there's a song that's played a few times in the first movie, in this one right here, which is also kind of called Paranoia, but then became Orgasmo. So that song is played again, by the way, in the third film. So you're just randomly watching like the film, and that kind of like the the really boppy song. Isn't it though? It's a fantastic song. I guess he like had the rights for it again because like 2 years later he's playing again in another film. Unless no, because Jen Sproul's in that scene. Oh yeah, I got Overdrive. I think it's over here in Canada. It's called Overdrive, which is a thing for like getting books and audio books from the library, and you can just get them on your iPad and stuff. Carol Baker is really good. One thing I can see, and I can really see this, why she would work with Lindsay like 4 times, is that he doesn't pigeonhole her the same. Like she's extremely different in like in Orgasmo than she is in So Sweet, So Perverse. Like extremely different. Like he gave her stuff to work with. You gotta see it's a private teacher movie. Is Carol Baker in Something Wild? I think she was. I'd have to look it up, man. Have you ever bought from a bootleg site? I actually haven't. Yes, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. In the VHS days, I bought, and I guess it's a bootleg site. There's a site called Video Search Miami, and I think that was pretty much like, because you get a VHS, and it would definitely be bootleg. So I bought like from Video Search Miami back in the day, back in the days of VHS when you couldn't get like uncut, like Italian giallos and stuff over here, or westerns. I remember buying like Massacre Time and Dario Argento's Terror at the Opera, stuff like that. So yeah, I did buy from bootlegs back in the day. Not today, no. It's just there's too many other options to get the films. What did you buy, Amy? I'm actually kind of curious. You're in Etobicoke? Lakeshore and Prince. Lakeshore, you mean like, okay, when you say Lakeshore, are you talking about Mississauga or a different Lakeshore? Because I lived in Mississauga on Lakeshore Drive and I went to school there. So that takes me back. Oh yeah, Clockwork Orange was never banned here in Canada. We do, see, we didn't have like a whole like we never had like the whole like video nasties thing here. Like so, man, David Cronenberg comes from Canada. Um, have you seen Shivers? No, we had like some what do you call it? Um, obviously some censorship fighting. Like we definitely had some of that, but nothing that I could think of that was like really out and out banned. Lakeshore Boulevard. So I'm not sure if you know, but like there is a school. It used to be there. So Lakeshore Elementary School, and it had this huge. Don't know if it does now. Huge like high rise, like one of the biggest high rises there. So I lived in that. That's the area that I lived in, and Chip Factory is a tenant. I haven't seen the tenant in years. I got it here though. It's okay. I mean, if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's Ron Plansky, right? It's good. It's a bit of slow burn. Oh, so Amy says it's great, and I haven't seen it in a long time, so I'm going to go with Amy. We all had the Satanic Panic thing. We just didn't listen to it very much. Uh, uh, we all had to like, oh, don't the whole rock music and Satan. Like I remember back in the day that because I was into Dungeons and Dragons and all that type of stuff, super geeky, right? So there was like this time they even made a movie, Mazes and Monsters, talking about like how the evils of Dungeons and Dragons, kind of the same thing you see with everything. Every time something new comes out, that kids kind of get into, like it's evil. Video games are evil. Radio is evil. Television is evil. Comic books are gonna corrupt your children. In reality, none of it does. You're more likely to be corrupted by the person that's telling you all these things are evil, because there's a reason that they're thinking like that. There's a reason they're thinking that all these things are evil, and that's on them, man. It's kind of like when you see this like really like super jealous dude, and he's like I don't trust my like, you don't trust your girlfriend for a reason, dude, because you probably don't, because you don't trust you. You don't trust you. Speaking from experience and youth there with that one. Tabletop RPGs. Oh, it's a flaming tile dice. That is exactly what it is. See? Now there you go. This isn't called Call to Cinema for no reason. Obviously, I'm indoctrinating you all in a huge cult. So, because why not? Drink the maple syrup. I love the D&D animated series, by the way. And it definitely needs a finale. Movie censor board there. Yeah, and it was different in every province too, man. Were you really into Marilyn Manson? Did you like dress emo and stuff like that? Like nothing wrong with that, but were you like one of those emo kids? Because every generation has their own version of emo. Like they do. They got their own version of what an emo kid is. You had band shirts. Okay. I was I was geeky. Like I was not cool. Not in high school. I was not cool in high school. My last year of high school, I was like, that was my only year of coolness, and it was like fleeting coolness. I'll tell you that much right now. College is when I came to my own, but high school, I was such a geek. I was super geeky. I was shyer. I had a Doctor Who scarf. Not joking. That was the thing I had. I had a Tom Baker Doctor Who scarf. I know what you're thinking. How could he not be the most popular guy in school? Well, I wasn't, except when I was on stage. When the one thing I felt in my element on stage, and I traveled to a lot of different schools because I traveled a lot. I went to Ontario and Alberta, to Newfoundland. I went a lot of different areas. But the only time that I really felt comfortable in my own skin back then, because when you're young, you're really kind of finding yourself. Some people are really great at finding kind of like who they are right then. Yeah, exactly. You're channeling characters. You're not just your. There's this thing, and it would happen every time. So we'd be like practicing and kind of getting ready, and it would just be like 30 seconds before I go on stage for every performance, right? And my stomach is killing me. I feel like I'm going to throw up, and I can't do this. This is not something I can do. I want to run in the opposite direction. Yeah, I'm going to fail, and I'm going to forget every line, and it's not going to work. And then snap, I'm on, and all that's gone. All that's gone. And everything kind of comes in. Kenny and Company. Oh, okay, wow. Hollywood Nights. Did I miss some? Because those seem like so much like the horror types. Because you said you're getting ready for Halloween. Kenny and Company, good movie, fun movie, but not exactly Halloween. I had like a lot of. I was. Here's a geeky story. And here's when you think how you can tell I don't take myself too seriously, because I tell you these stories. So, huge Michael Jackson fan as a kid, right? And my grandmother, because I was raised by my grandparents mostly. So my grandmother comes home from Kmart, and she gets me this Michael Jackson shirt, and it's cool. It's got Michael Jackson's like face on it, and I'm like so excited, and I put it on, and it is super tight. Like it is too small for me. I mean, like it is cutting into my arms. It's like coming up a bit. So like no way should I be going outside with this shirt on. But like it's time to go to school. I'm like, screw this. I have a Michael Jackson shirt, and at the time the biggest singer in the world, right? And I'm like, I'm wearing this way too tight, kind of too short Michael Jackson shirt to school like an idiot, because I'm a kid. I am an idiot. That's kind of what you are at that age. And I did too. And this wasn't the only time. There was one other time, and I'll tell you this, because I don't mind saying this. If you can't make fun of yourself, you can't laugh at yourself. Who can you laugh at, right? Have a great night there, Ellen. But so my aunt had had this boyfriend, and he had these really cool shirts from the 70s, and he had left a couple there, and so I find this shirt. It's not a button-up shirt, by the way. it snaps. So it snaps together, and it's got these white fake ivory buttons, and it's got like a big flower on each side of the shirt, like a big embroidered flower, and it's kind of brown and kind of like shiny. And so picture it now. It's a very it's a very sad cowboy shirt, but I thought this this is this this is the epitome of cool, right? So to make matters worse, we're doing public exams, and I decide, you know what? This is a cool shirt. I'm going to wear it for my public exams. So, and if for those that aren't Canadian and don't understand, like with public exams, unlike other tests in school, everybody writes them together. So you all go into a gym, and everybody goes into like the same big room, and like teachers are going around and they're giving exams, the public exams. So everybody in the school is writing like different exams, public exams together in the same room. At least that's how we did it. So I go to the school with this hilarious shirt, not realizing how dumb it is. And I'm walking in, and people are turning around and like snickering, and then like they're laughing. And because I'm not bright at that age, I'm thinking, my God, I wonder who that idiot is that they're laughing at so much. It wasn't until after the exam that I realized, my friend came up to me and said, it's kind of you, man. It's kind of you. I'm like, really? With this shirt on? Look how shiny this is. But yeah, that was me. That was me when I was a kid. So yeah, it wasn't exactly super popular. But I had fun. It's okay, man. The one thing I can say about like my youth was that I kind of, I froze up. It's not your internet, man. It was my internet. But I'm gonna end this now in a few minutes anyway. But yeah, no, one good thing I can say about that time period is, even though like I was going through whatever, it was a blast and it was so funny. You just bought that. Let me know, Amy, what you think, because I really, really think it's a great set. I 100% like go on this one. Did you buy it from Severin? Because if you bought it from Severin, you're gonna get like the 64 page like photo comic book as well, which is really, really cool. Facts of life. I love the facts of life. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have. But he had that horrible like movie where they went down to Australia. Yeah, it was bad. The first season of Facts of Life was actually pretty good, but then he like in the second season he got rid of almost all the cast and just had like 4 girls. Girls. Mrs. Garrett. That's a horrible Mrs. Garrett. How did I ever act, man? I can't even do a Miss Garrett voice. Blair was the blonde. Tootie was the one on roller skates. Natalie was the one that used to write, and Joe was the tomboy. On the one episode, just have X-Files one with Freddy Krueger. What's Kenny? Is it Halloween themed? I gotta look back, man. Okay, I'm gonna take your word on that because I've gotta remember those films. I had a crush on. I know Natalie used to do the voice of Velma on the Scooby Doo because I'm a big Scooby Doo fan. I think I had a crush on Joe actually. Who would have a crush on Miss Garrett? Hey, Mrs. G. George Clooney actually did a role on Facts of Life, playing their next door neighbor, a carpenter by the name of George. Not joking, that's actually a real thing. What's some? Well, they were wrong. They burned a house down, man. Topanga. Well, man, you're much younger than me, but I know Topanga. I saw Boy Meets World. Wow, yeah, she grew up super sexy too. So that's a good first crush. One of my first crushes was on like a show called Degrassi Junior High, and Degrassi High was Caitlin. Simpsons broke something alright. Not sure if they broke them all. I'm a huge Degrassi fan. I grew up Degrassi. I was a kid when Kids from Degrassi Street came on. I was in high school when Junior High and Degrassi High came on. The girl that plays Blair was like super Christian. She was like a Christian singer as well. So that was, that was against, like, kind of against her religion. And I get that, like, true to her own type thing. But with that being said, guys, with this freezing up a lot, starting to now, and we may be getting some like thunder and lightning in a little bit. This It keeps coming back, like it's going to get it, we're not going to get it. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. So I'm not going to put electricity to me right now. So right now, guys, I had to say thank you so much for coming in. I really, really appreciate it. And quickly, because I forgot to do it at the beginning, and I said I was going to do this on everyone, or on at least on almost everyone. I want to give a shout out to my Patreon supporters out there: Action Jackman, Brent, Brian, Dale, Dr. Mark, Mad Scientist, JR62, Ryan and Ryan, and Shadow Price. Your Patreon support means a lot, especially in this last couple months. It's been very hard, and thank you so much. And everybody out there that's been watching the channel, liking, sharing, subscribing, that type of thing, you guys are awesome. And I'm Aaron. This is my movie library. You're the Call Cinema. You guys rock. And I will see you guys soon. Hopefully tomorrow we can do another video right here. And have a great evening. It's time for tea.